Last Sunday, Duncan Brisk spoke to us in the background to the calling of Abraham in chapter 12 of Genesis, the first sermon in our post-Easter series. He emphasised the generosity of God, who gave Adam and Eve an entire paradise of yes and just a single tree of no. Unfortunately, they decided not to trust this generous God and went their own way, with tragic results. They were kicked out of the Garden of Eden, and they and the earth itself had a great fall. Even then, God's generosity stood out. He covered their sin and nakedness by making them clothes from the first sacrifice in the Old Testament. He also promised that a seed born of woman would one day completely pay for their sin and restore them fully to God. And despite the increasingly downward spiral into worse and worse human rebellion, the first murder in Genesis 4, the flood in Genesis 6, the arrogance of Babel in Genesis 11, God took the first steps to complete that promise by calling Abraham from a distant land and entering into a covenant with him. That though, at the time it seemed a physical impossibility, God would provide the aged Abraham and Sarai with an heir, and from him a people, a land and a nation, all of which would lead to great blessing for the world. So do join us during April and May as we explore Abraham's adventures together and learn what they have to say to us today, how we might better follow that God who most generously gave up Abraham's heir, Jesus, so that each of us might regain paradise, this time forever.